Alright, who's ready to go back to Rapture?
Mr. B. Mr. B. Big sister doesn't want you playing with me.
And that's the big sister.
Alright, so Bioshock 2 takes place about 10 years after the original Bioshock, although this time now we play as a Big Daddy known as Subject Delta, who is supposedly the world's first Big Daddy. But although this Big Daddy is special because this guy can use plasmids, he wakes up after being shot from the head from Control from the new villain Sophia Lamb after he was protecting his little sister known as Eleanor Lamb. He is woken up years later by Dr. Tenenbaum, who helped you out in the first game after you got rid of Fontaine's mind control. And your quest is to find Eleanor Lamb and get out of Rapture. I'm just telling you guys right now, Bioshock 2 is nowhere near as good as the masterpiece that is Bioshock 1. After you beat a masterpiece, you would expect that the sequel of the game is a masterpiece as well, but sadly Bioshock 2 is not a masterpiece. It's just really good. The storyline in the game is really good. It's really well done. I love it how he plays a Big Daddy, and the fact that he has a connection to a little sister that happens to be his actual daughter will contain spoilers, just to let you guys know. There's a new villain named Sophia Lamb, who I didn't find her as impactful as Andrew Ryan, because Andrew Ryan was the one who created Rapture, the one who's the reason why shit is happening in Rapture like this. With Sophia Lamb, it's like to just continue in the footsteps. That's all she's doing. She didn't really challenge the ideas and the philosophies. She didn't challenge the world like Andrew Ryan did. You go back to familiar areas, it doesn't feel like a sequel, because there are some things that still feel like the original Bioshock. For one thing, the gameplay is loads better in Bioshock 2. And this game, unlike in the first game where you had to switch between plasmids and guns, you can now dual wield a plasmid and a gun. Like you can dual the electrical and river gun. In Bioshock 1 with the electrical you can only just do a lightning. Then when you upgrade it once you can do chain lightning, but then when you do all the way up you can do Sith lightning with incinerate. When you upgrade all the way, your hand turns into a full-blown flamethrower. Where blast, your hand turns into a fire extinguisher. Later on you do get a plasmid. I don't want to spoil it, but you get to summon an awesome creature. The strategy is a lot more incorporated. It's about the same as Bioshock 1. They don't really incorporate as much more strategy as they do in the first one. It's about pretty much the same. Graphics wise, the game, I honestly have to say, there is some parts where I honestly thought that Bioshock 1 looks better. Like, when you get the new areas, it looks great, but when you look in the same areas like Fontaine Futuristics or like High-Pistis Park, whatever it is, you'll find that there are some parts in the levels where Bioshock 1 had a better design to it. The art design in Bioshock 2 is phenomenal. It's just the graphics that don't really hold up to Bioshock 1 standard. Bioshock 1, we're in a bathysphere, and Bioshock 2, you actually get to go into the ocean itself, like the ocean floor. Only thing is, it just feels like there's something they tacked on at the last second because you don't actually get to fight underwater. But no, you just walk around and explore. That's all you do. It's cool and everything to see the entire city for the first time underwater on the ocean floor. I mean, don't get me wrong, Rapture's a great city to look at, but we saw it already in Bioshock 1 or in the bathysphere. The score by Gary Scheinman, of course, is great. Returns back with haunting scores. The voice acting is great again. Little Sisters, again, are creepy as hell. Now here's the thing I love about Bioshock 1. When it came to developing that game, Ken Levine said he wanted us to create a game that had an amazing single-player experience, which he delivered. I said in my Bioshock 1 review that I had beaten Bioshock 1 8 times on my 9th playthrough on my Mac. For Bioshock 2, they have multiplayer. And the thing is that Bioshock 2's multiplayer, believe it or not, is actually the prequel to Bioshock because it takes place in the Civil War of Rapture, which I find really interesting. You do get to play as a Big Daddy, but you don't get to use the drill, which I'll get to in a little bit. Now, in terms of replayability, this is where the game, I think, suffers highly because, like I said in Bioshock 1, I beat the game 8 times on my 9th playthrough. Bioshock 2, I only beat it twice. When I rescued Grace, that's her name, the first girl, after I rescued her, I just put the controller down because I got so bored. It wasn't made by Ken Levine, which explains everything.
That explains everything!
The multiplayer still has glitches. When you get to play as a Big Daddy, why couldn't you use the drill? You got to use the rubber gun and throw grenades, but why not the drill? Really? That was like the coolest part of being a Big Daddy. And the single player of Bioshock 2, during a drill dash, that was some of the funnest parts of being a Big Daddy. When it came to the story, it's just that the thing is that the game stays too close to Bioshock 1. For like the first hours of the campaign, but in the last hours it picks up. But in the first 2 acts of the game, it tries to play it safe, which I didn't like about it. And just like Bioshock 1, yes, the game does have great controls, although the main thing I hate is why they have to switch around so much. Like now, B that was used for health is now on the D-pad. I didn't like that choice at all. So overall, Bioshock 2, it's a very worthy sequel to a masterpiece. Has a great story to it, although it doesn't have characters that are as impactful, like as Andrew Ryan. Like Sophia Lamb isn't as impactful as Andrew Ryan. It's awesome to play as a Big Daddy to use that drill that you've wanted to do, although you cannot do it in multiplayer. Sadly, it isn't as replayable as the first Bioshock. The graphics in some areas don't look as good as in other areas. It just feels like they added multiplayer just to make up for the fact that Bioshock 1 didn't have multiplayer. Bioshock 2 is not the game it should have been. I mean, it's a good game, but it could have been so much better. So, I'm gonna give Bioshock 2 a 7.5 out of 10 stars. It was, honestly, for me, as a Bioshock fan, a bit disappointing in a few areas, but that does not make it still a great sequel, because it is still a worthy sequel, and if you haven't played Bioshock 2, it's definitely worth at least one go. So that was my review of Bioshock 2. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will be, hopefully, attending the midnight release for Bioshock Infinite, and once I beat that, I will have that review out as soon as possible. And until I review Bioshock Infinite, I'll see you guys next time.
Seriously, do it. Do it. Do it.